Okay, welcome to the Texas Association for College Admission Counseling. If you would like to ask any of the panelists any questions at any time, at the very bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A button. The panelists cannot see or hear you, so this is the best way for you to ask them questions. You can individually ask a question, or you can ask a question to all the panelists. Again, your camera and microphone are off, so that's really important. Today is the last day for this college fair, so if you're going to want to go to another session, I think there's one more session after this, but tonight only. A recording of this will be available usually within the week at strivecan.com/Texas. So we are going to get kicked off here with University of Westminster.
Good afternoon, everyone, and hello from London. My name's Jane, and I work at the University of Westminster in the international team. So I support students joining us from the Americas. And I'm going to give you a really brief overview, but you're very welcome to get in touch, ask questions now, or get in touch at any point in the future with anything that you'd like to know. And I'll be happy to help, of course, as long as my presentation works this evening. So the University of Westminster is in central London, and that is the main reason, apart from choosing the programme, a lot of people choose that they want to be in London. It's a fantastic global city to study in, and you've got all the opportunities and events and activities on your doorstep. And also being at Westminster, especially with our location and our background and history, you're also very well located in terms of professional development, links to work placements and business and networking. So we were actually established in the early 1800s to teach Londoners professional skills, and that really reflects the attitude, the learning environment, and the focus on professional applied programs that we offer today. So we were established as one of the first polytechnics, the Royal Polytechnic, and became the University of Westminster in the early 1990s, but we still really teach across those professional applied programs, and a lot of our teaching staff have current relevant work experience in their fields, so we're a little bit different to some other institutions that you will speak to through your visits to different fairs. We're really international. That reflects really London as a welcoming, diverse international city, but we have more than 165 different nationalities across our student and staff body, and that's really great in terms of both the experience that you'll get, but also coming into a learning environment where we're used to teaching students from different educational backgrounds. We're about an average size. This is just in case you don't know London, so we're very well connected for both for you coming and going from the States, but also if you want to visit the UK, it's really quite small and easy to get around, and a lot of our students really enjoy also in normal times going to Europe, making the most of visiting different European cities while they're here. But mainly you can really enjoy everything in London and everything that's just right there for you. So this is just a map of our campus buildings. If you visited London, you might know Regent Street, Oxford Circus, it's the main shopping street in London. So we're talking central West End, where all the sort of theatres, nightlife, and a lot of the PR district is around where our campuses are. We've got our Baker Street campus, which is really well known opposite Madame Tussauds and Baker Street. These central London campuses, so you can walk between Marylebone and Cavendish in about 15 minutes. You don't need to, your studies are all on one site, but it is very accessible, very easy. Central London's really quite small and very safe. And if we've got a campus a little bit further out, about 25 minutes. That's our Harrow Campus for Digital Creative Industries. That's next to Wembley Stadium, if you're a soccer fan and you know that. So that's where we are. This is just a quick run through of the subject areas that we have, which I won't take too long to do, but things like biomedical sciences, nutrition, psychology. And I always say to students, when you're looking at Westminster, look at the course, look at the campus and the faculty, and then look at London and the university, because our faculties are all fairly different. So it's great to go onto the website, go on social media, get more of a feel, speak to current students and find out a bit more. Here at our Regent Regent Street campus, our original building. This is where we have social sciences, international relations, law, these sort of topics are really popular. And then different again, very modern, our business school and our home to our architecture and planning. We've got some fantastic alumni in architecture and interior architecture, if you're looking for that. And then again, different, very modern. This is our digital creative industries. This is where we do film, fashion, photography. We've got some, you know, of BAFTA award winners, Oscar nominees, great fashion design students. So lots of different options in the creative industry subjects as well. We have accommodation, so don't be scared. Where would I be in London? How would it be affordable? We have reasonable accommodation options. It's all self-catered. You get your own room and your own bathroom normally, and then you share a kitchen. And our entry requirements, which you can find out more about by contacting me or online. For this year, we're accepting students where we can directly with high school diplomas. If you do have other exams, that's great. If you haven't been able to take them, don't worry. And our course fees are about $20,000 per year, and that's for 3 years for a UK degree. Sorry, for a degree in England, it's 3 years, and we are certified by for federal aid loans, and we do also have a scholarship scheme. So if you're interested in any of that, then do have a look at our website and also get in touch with me if you'd like more information. So London can be a fairly affordable choice, which lots of people are surprised about. It's consistently ranked top international student city for a reason. There's lots to do, and you can work out a budget. You've got some guidance and information about how it can actually work out for you as an international student. So you've got my contact details here. I'll put them in the chat as well. We've got a couple of open days coming up. If you are interested and you would like to know any more and find out details about subjects, ask questions, then just get in touch or have a look on our website for that. And with that, I will say thank you very much, and we'll hope to see you in London very soon. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very, very much. Next up, we have University of East London.
Thank you, Christy. I will go ahead and share my screen. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and hello from London. So I work for the University of East London, and I'm delighted to be speaking with you guys today to give you more information about the University of East London. So without further ado, I'm going to hop onto the first slide. So we are based in London, England. We are really passionate about the fact that we're based in London, and we love the fact that we have London as an extension of our campus. It is such a vibrant, diverse, dynamic city, and there really is everything on your doorstep available to you. We love this quote, "When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life." We massively believe this, and so we hope if you choose to come to the University of East London, you'll truly enjoy the city that we're based in. So just to give you an understanding, this is an aerial view of one of our campuses. This is our Docklands campus. We're really happy that the Docklands campus has a wide variety of needs. So for instance, a lot of campuses sometimes have accommodation separated to the classrooms within a city environment, but we're lucky that we have all of it in one area. So you'll see these buildings right here, these yellow buildings right by the water. Those are our accommodation buildings. And then this big building right here, that is where our classes are. You'll also notice this circle in the middle with the train going through. We have something called a tube, which is very much like the subway in the US, located right next to our campus. So you can go anywhere you want in London, and then you can come back and you're directly back on campus. So it is a super accessible place to live, to everything. So a little bit about the University of East London. We were created as a polytechnic college back in the 1890s, but we gained university status in 1992. In total, we have 17,000 students, but that is across all of our disciplines, including distance learning. And our international student population is around 20%. In terms of the programs that we offer, we have 6 schools. So I won't read each of them out, but as you can see, we have architecture, engineering, the School of Art and Creative Industries, School of Business, Law and Hospitality, And then we have School of Education, Health, Sport and Bioscience, and Psychology. So as you can see, we offer a wide variety of programs across a lot of different areas. So if this interests you, you might be wondering, how do you apply? So in terms of applying, it would be an application fee. It would be free to apply via the Common App, or you could apply via the website completely for free. If you choose to apply via Ucas, you might have heard of this if you're applying to multiple UK schools. It will be about $45 to $50 for the application fee in total. We do rolling admissions, which means you receive a decision within 2 to 4 weeks of applying. The deadline to formally apply is July of 2021 for the September 2021 intake. However, we would encourage you to apply earlier. But the main draw about studying in the UK is that the duration of the program is 3 years. And it's 3 years because we do specialized degrees in England, which means that if you want to study psychology, you never have to study maths again, or English literature, or anything unrelated to your subject of study. Your tuition would be looking around the $17,000 mark, depending on the exchange rate. And a real perk is you get free textbooks electronically. So you get access to a database with all the textbooks you could want. So you're looking for the entire degree around $51,000. In terms of entry requirements, you're looking at around a 3.0 GPA and one of the following: either a 1070 on the SAT, a 23 on the ACT, or 3 AP scores of 3 and above. In terms of housing, we give you your own room, and we give you your own access to a private bathroom. So this comes with a little shower room, a little toilet. As you can see on the other side of the screen, the shared dorm is not a thing within University of East London or really the UK higher education system. So the benefit about studying with us is you do get your privacy, but then when you want to socialize, you can socialize. In terms of sports, we have a sports legacy at the University of East London. We hosted the Team USA at the 2012 Olympics, and since then we've really grown from strength to strength with sports at the University of East London. So if you're interested in competitive sports, or if you're interested in getting involved in sports at UEL, it is a great place to study. And then finally, it's no surprise to students that are thinking about studying internationally would like to travel. So just to let you know, we are very well connected to all the airports. We have 6 in London, so you can be flying to anywhere that you want, as well as traveling around London and the UK. If you are interested, just to reiterate, you can apply via the Common App, the University of East London website, or Ucas. And you can follow us at Follow Me to East London on Instagram. And our email is americas@uel.ac.uk. So feel free to write that down. I'll also pop it in the chat. And thank you very much for taking the time to hear me today.
Great, thank you. Okay, let's see where we're at. There we go. Perfect, thank you.
All right. There we go. Thanks so much, Annabelle, also from UEL. I feel like she gave us a really great idea of the UK overall. My name is Alana Stewart. I'm the regional manager for the University of East Anglia, and I am based in Michigan, so situated in the States with all of you. I'm here to talk to you about University of East Anglia, which is abbreviated as UEA. We are founded in 1963, so we're relatively young, but we are a public campus-based research university. So essentially what that means is that everything's kind of in one place for you, and that our professors are doing top research and contributing to their fields, their respective fields. We do offer a wide variety of subject areas, over 160 undergraduate degrees, which I will show you a bit later. We are on the small side of larger institutions with about 17,000 students, so not too terribly big and not too terribly small. And about 17% of those students are international from a wide variety of countries across the world. If you never have heard of UEA before, I just like to mention that we are a world top 200 institution and within the UK top 25, which again, it just establishes us as a reputable place for you to be continuing your education. UEA is based in Norwich, England, which is about an hour and a half northeast of London by train, where that pink glint is on the map. We do have our own international airport, so it's pretty easy to get to us either from that airport directly or up from London by train or by bus. That area of England is beautiful countryside, so you're kind of surrounded by rolling fields and farmland, which makes it a pretty peaceful place to be studying. Also about 30 minutes from the British coastline there. So you have the opportunity to go to the beach and check out the little colorful cottages that line the beach side there. The city is on the smaller side, less than 150,000 people in the city of Norwich, but it is kind of the destination city for that area, known as East Anglia. So there's a lot to do within the city. We are a shopping destination and we were named as one of the top cities to live in. We're also known as a very safe and friendly location and named one of the most affordable cities as well. So very, very nice for students who are considering or looking to cut costs in some areas. And then finally, I like to mention that we are one of the most vegan friendly cities in the UK. We have one of the highest number of vegan restaurants per person. And I mentioned this kind of, if you're a vegan, great, but also just kind of shows you the eclectic nature of the city. We do have 2 cathedrals and a castle. You can kind of see the city on the left-hand side from the pictures, but we constantly talk about Norwich as being kind of one of the great features of University of East Anglia, and we are very lucky to be situated there. The campus itself is 3 miles away from the city center. We are on 320 acres of green space. So you can see there is a lot of green space there for, as well as a lake for students to hang out on and in, take walks around. We also do have a development farm with some ponies that students can go out and feed when they want to take a break from studying. We're home to one of the largest indoor sports parks in Great Britain. So if you do want to play sports, we do have some teams. We also do have cardio weightlifting equipment, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and a rock climbing wall. You can see all the pitches and fields off to the right-hand side. Most UK universities will have pubs within their student union. Ours is lucky enough to host 60 or more live music gigs in a good year, so you can get exposed to all different sorts of music. And then finally, I like to point out the Sainsbury Center for Visual Arts, which is in the top left-hand corner of your screen. And the reason why I point this out is because it was featured in the Avengers films. So if you watch some of the more recent ones, including Spider-Man Homecoming and Infinity Wars, you have actually seen UEA's campus. As others have mentioned, we do have accommodation and it is guaranteed for first years, and it is mostly single space for students. And we do allow students to mostly cook for themselves within the kitchen facilities within those residence facilities, but we also do have restaurants both on campus and then within the city, places for you to eat, as well as all the international student support, as well as other support services that you may need, like career, as well as mental health and mental well-being. Within the 4 faculties, there's arts and humanities, medicine and health, science, as well as social sciences. You will see kind of wider degree categories. We do have more individual courses or majors within those programs. Again, over 160. We are most well known for environmental science and creative writing, but we also do well with business, economics, and international development. So pretty much a little bit to offer anybody, no matter what you're looking for. Our degree programs are standard 3 years, but a lot of them do carry the option to do a year abroad or a year in industry. So if you're looking to extend to that 4th year, even though you do have that 4th year built in, you're still not paying full tuition and fees. So that's kind of a nice feature too, to have those experiences without paying the full cost. The Ucas application was kind of previously explained, but we are on the Ucas application. Our requirements are a 3.3 GPA or higher. We also will require some sort of testing in the form of SAT or ACT or 3 AP or IB exams. We also do love international baccalaureate degree or diploma holders. So If you do have a subject that requires anything subject specific, so for example, if you're going to engineering and need a math, you will have to replicate that on an AP exam with a 3+ or higher as a score. If you do have any questions about the requirements, please do reach out directly to me. We do look for demonstrated academic interest within your academic portfolio. So what have you done to prepare for it, and kind of why are you interested in that degree? We do also require interviews, auditions, or portfolios as additional for some of our courses, but honestly, not a ton of them. Our cost for 2021 started about $24,000 US and go up to about 30,000 if you're looking at medicine. That's kind of in its own category. And the cost of living, which is set by the government for any place outside London, is about 13,000 for the 9 months. Again, Norwich is very affordable, so you can probably live more affordably than this, but that's just an estimate for you as you're looking for something to go off of. And these do fluctuate with the exchange rate of the currency, which the dollar is unfortunately not doing too well right now, so costs are looking a bit more expensive at the moment. But with that in mind, we do have some scholarships. So there's an automatic £4,000 scholarship for your first year if you do receive an offer from UEA. You can apply by essay for up to £8,000 per year, and that's good for 3 years. And then we do also have some scholarships by course in some instances, and then also music and sport options. Most UK institutions are able to receive FAFSA direct loans, so we are able to as well. So apply for FAFSA, and if you're eligible to those, you can bring those over to the UK. And then finally, students are allowed to work on their Tier 4 student visa, either on campus or off campus. And that's part-time, about 20 hours while you're inside classes and 40 hours during any breaks. Please do connect with us via social media. We also do have a student ambassador named Nicole. She is from California, and she'll be happy to connect with you about the student experience. But I always say, don't just check out our official channels, check out what students are hashtagging us in and saying about us unofficially, because you do want to see every aspect of a university. But we do have some awesome videos too for you to check out about what happened last year, you know, kind of about UEA over the past decade or so. Also other campus tours and great things for you to be, you know, some spoken word as well. So then finally, my name is Alana. Again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with anything that you may need in your college search process.
Thank you very much, Alana. Next, we have University of Central Lancashire.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Emily Page and I work at the University of Central Lancashire. Apologies if I disappear. I've been having a few connection problems, so if I suddenly disappear from your screens, then I've lost connection again. Hopefully I will not though. So I'll tell you a little bit about University of Central Lancashire today. We are a modern university, but our history does go back to 1828. We have a community of around 24,000 students, so we are quite a large university, and around 4,500 of them are international students from all over the world, from 120 different countries. Last year, we were ranked in first position for the Student Welfare League table. We really do try and make sure that our students can settle in well, they're supported in everything they do, both in their personal lives and also in their academics as well. And as well as helping students be settled and looking after their welfare, we're also investing in both the students' future and the campus future. We've spent £200 million on our campus master plan, and last year we opened our brand new Engineering Innovation Centre. Now, all the pictures you can see on the screen and all the pictures you can see throughout this are all from around the campus, or indeed from around Preston, the city we're in. We spend quite a lot of time trying to ensure that you get practical experience to prepare you for your careers. That's the kind of history that we have in the way that we teach, and that's in everything from business through to medicine to archaeology to engineering. So whatever you're doing, we are trying to prepare you practically for the career that you will go into, and that's done by teaching you with industry specialists, some of which are collaborating with major organisations such as NASA, the UN, WHO, but also lots of other companies and commercial companies as well. We also have a European campus in Cyprus, which you can either do a degree at, or indeed you can spend 1 year at. We're in a city called Preston. Preston is a small city in the north of England. It's got a population of about 140,000 people. It's a very safe city, and it's also very well connected and networked. All the pictures here are from around the city centre, and all of these are within 15 minutes walk of the centre of our campus. You can get to some other big cities such as Manchester and Liverpool in only 40 minutes, and it's only 2.5 hours on the train to get to London. The train station is only a 10-minute walk from our campus, and the centre of the city is only a 10-minute walk in the other direction as well. And we've got easy links to our Manchester International Airport, so you can get in and get out as easily every single time. But hopefully you'll enjoy yourself here and you'll want to stay for as long as possible. The accommodation that we have, like many of the other universities, is single room accommodation. You're never having to share a bedroom. We guarantee you accommodation in your first year, and we also have a lot of social events and sports events that you can join in with throughout your time at the university. The social events are run through the accommodation or through the university, and also through our student union. And with the sports, we have both a sports arena as well as a sports centre, and the sports arena is just off of campus, and we run shuttle buses back and forth. And our sports centre is right on campus, right in the centre of the campus. So you can get involved in the squash courts and the gym and the dance studios right on campus. We've got a very large selection of programmes available at the university. I'm not going to go through all of them. You will know roughly what you're interested in, and you'll be able to kind of have a look here and see if there's anything that catches your eye. And if there is, you can contact me directly and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you about it. But we have subjects across the areas of the sciences, the technology, creative industries, social sciences, humanities. So there's likely to be something that will interest you at our university. We also have a large number of professional programs available. So if you are interested in pursuing a particular career, we do have a number of professional programs available, such as law and medicine, physiotherapy and things like that as well. So I think it's been covered about how you can make an application to universities in the UK. We are also on the Ucas application system, but you can also apply to us directly, and we're happy with you choosing whichever one suits you best. There is no difference to us when you send your application in. It is assessed in exactly the same way, whether you apply through the Ucas system or whether you apply directly to us, and you apply directly on our website if that's something you decide to do. We are test flexible, so we will be considering APs, SATs, the ACT, dual enrolment honours level classes and the IB diploma. There are some subjects for our 4-year bachelor's degrees that we are able to consider just the high school diploma. And then there are some subjects where we will need an AP or the SAT as well. When submitting an application, there's a number of things that we need, but we will guide you through that process. So if you're submitting an application and you're worried that you're not including everything, don't worry, because if we get an application from you and it's not complete, we will contact you and ask you for what it is that we need. Our tuition fees are around $58,000 to complete an average 3-year bachelor's degree, and we have scholarship packages of up to $20,500 US. We also accept the federal aid loans for our non-clinical subjects, and we have students here on Veterans Association funding and on private loans as well. If you do our 4-year bachelor's degree, then the first year is a lower cost than the following 3 years, and that you can see there's a kind of guide on the varying costs. But again, you can contact me anytime if you've got specific questions about that. All my contact details are on the screen at the moment, so you can get in touch with me, send me an email, give me a call, or if you want to have a meeting with me, a one-to-one meeting, then you can see the link there, which is my Calendly link, and you can book a meeting directly in with me. I usually have some appointments available that suit for the US time zones, particularly on Mondays and Thursdays. But I hope I get to speak to you directly, and I'm glad I made it to the end without dropping out. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it worked perfectly. Okay, so we are going to next have Northumbria University.
Thank you. Okay, hopefully this is all working. Welcome to Northumbria University from both me, Ian Harris, International Recruitment Manager, and our Angel of the North, the most viewed statue in the UK with 90,000 motorists every day. Welcome to the region. Always with a warm embrace, but maybe not always the blue skies. It isn't a presentation to international students without a photo of an airport, and we do love our airport. You will too, as you connect from the big US airports to our small one terminal airport, making it very easy to locate our meet and greet service available at the beginning of every new student year. The airport is a 20-minute metro or taxi journey from the city centre, which makes it very easy for students to return and jet off for weekend or holiday breaks to cities across Europe, with many low-cost airlines flying from here. We love our location, but we know that every university will reference their proximity to London. From Newcastle, there are 20+ direct train services a day, taking 3 hours to arrive in London's King's Cross. For those who, like me, fall in love with Newcastle, there is a great city waiting to explore. From the Angel, another warm welcome awaits from the local Geordies and their wonderful dialect. It's English, but not as you might know, and don't worry, we do provide a regional dialect guidebook. Newcastle is a medium-sized UK city with a population of around 300,000 people. It is close to a college city as you can get, with 2 large universities in the city centre, and during term time, 1 in 6 of the population is a student. The city has a welcoming and vibrant reputation, a passion for sport, especially our EPL team Newcastle United, and an appetite for a great night out. For those seeking something a little quieter, you can easily access World Heritage sites like Hadrian's Wall, famous castles, national parks, and miles of beautiful coastline. Newcastle also benefits from a relatively small footprint, making it a walking city, and students will find themselves very familiar with their surroundings in no time at all. That brings a sense of safety, reassurance, and with this, a reputation for being one of the safest university cities in the UK. Newcastle is small enough to be familiar, but big enough to live. And from the river pictured here, you can walk 20 minutes up through the city to our campus. Northumbria University is right in the heart of the city. It's a university on an upward trend across international, national, and subject rankings. A top 30 UK ranking and a top 400 global ranking in the UK. Global ranking, the highest ranking university in the UK. We are making an impact globally and locally. I personally love the opportunity students have to inform and be informed by industry, whether during their classes by former graduates, including figures like Sir Johnny Ive, designer of the iPhone, AirPods, Apple Watch, or out on placements such as nurses in hospital, computing scientists at Microsoft, or sports management students on the Olympic Organising Committee. Our internationally recognised accreditations, practice-led teaching, and opportunities for industrial placements contribute to an excellent reputation for graduate employability. We have a comprehensive offer at Northumbria with over 200 3- or 4-year majors across 4 academic faculties: business and law, environment and engineering, health and life science, and arts, design and social science. We offer single honour majors with some joint honours and major minors within the same core subject area. Northumbria is very strong in computing, science, design, sports management and nursing, and these proved to be very popular with American students who want a fast track into vocational professions. For those who want something different, alongside their UK study experience, we have a unique opportunity for any non-business students to study an international year in business with our partner, Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences. And although it makes me incredibly jealous, if there are any aspiring male or female soccer players in the audience, Northumbria has partnered with the I2I Soccer Academy, combining selected majors with a pro-level development programme. Newcastle is a very affordable city to live, partly why I decided to stay here after my graduation many years back. Living costs are very affordable, with student discounts available for pretty much everything and good opportunities for part-time work. You can definitely live on campus at Northumbria if you want. University accommodation is guaranteed for all international students. The majority of accommodation is within a 5-minute walk of the campus, All rooms are single occupancy and costs vary depending on how important things are, like your own bathroom and shower. Although I always find it odd saying that when so many American colleges don't even offer their own bedroom. We don't have campus meal plans per se, but we do have a catered accommodation offer for those who have parents worried about you feeding yourself. Living and studying in England, it is in many ways similar to the US. We have clubs and associations you would likely find in US colleges. However, we don't have the Greek life, and we don't have 1,000-seater stadiums to cheer on your favourite football players. Although we do have a very strong athletic offer with equivalencies to NCAA Division 1 and 2 in soccer, volleyball and athletics. Northumbria, like all UK universities, has excellent provisions to support students with their health, finances, academics or general well-being. Our average cost of attendance is $98,500 for a typical 3-year major, inclusive of our global scholarship, which is automatically awarded to all enrolled international students. We also have a Raise Me Micro Scholarship of up to $2,000 specifically for US applicants. Students can use their financial aid for most UK universities, including Northumbria, and you can complete your form as you would in the US and just list our institutional code. What is different is the application process, as has already been touched on by the other universities. Students will apply to their major as well as the university, with the decision predominantly being made on your academic grades. At Northumbria, we consider all applications with or without your test scores, although there may be some subject-specific requirements. Thank you. From the heart of our campus here, I hope you enjoyed this quick intro to our offer at Northumbria. Please feel free to scan here to arrange a one-to-one meeting, and my email details are on there as well, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Okay, so if all the panelists can turn back on their cameras, we're going to go in the same order that you presented, and I'll share my screen real quick. And the first question that you're going to address, and you can kind of talk through it or feed off of the person that went before you. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
So definitely to just ask questions. There are loads of virtual events and things happening at the moment, but you can always get in touch with all of us. And no question, don't feel scared to ask any question, even if you think it's really basic. We know it's a different process, talking about things like Ucas, different terms. We're all here to help, so just ask us.
I think that's a great question. I think, yeah, absolutely. Just to reiterate, asking questions. I also think that don't be afraid to ask to speak to current students as well. I know that can provide real insight. And I think for most universities, they have current students that work in partnership with the office, with the international office that can, give you a call and, provide more experience. I think that's always really helpful when looking to study internationally.
So my advice is don't be scared to go someplace where the rest of your friends are not going, or maybe you're the only one that's looking to go to the UK, and that is totally fine because you're going to find a whole new group of friends, international minded, and then be able to visit them throughout the rest of your life. I went to school in the US that not a lot of my friends went to, and I found it was probably a good choice because I did make the right choice for university for myself, as opposed to just doing what everybody else.
Yeah, have a really good think about what it is that's important to you. There's so many different choices when you're looking at studying at university, whether you're looking overseas or staying at home. If you're looking at the UK, think about the things that you want to experience. Are you wanting to be in a big city, or do you want to be somewhere smaller? What is it about the university you're particularly interested in? Do you want something more theoretical, more practical? Think about the things that are important to you and then make your decision from that. You can compare some of the universities and you can come up with your own shortlist. And just to follow on as well, when you're asking questions, it's a really good point. Please ask us. That's what we're here for. But also, we don't keep records of what you ask us. So if you ask us something and you're a bit embarrassed because you think it's a silly question, we've probably had it before and we will not remember that you asked it, and we will not keep a record of that. So you do not need to worry about that. Ask us anything at any time. That's what our job is.
So my advice is twofold. One of it from a personal perspective. I encourage any student I speak to who's considering taking a gap year, even if it's 2 years out. I did that. It didn't damage me in any way. In fact, it made me certainly feel a lot more confident, and some would argue a little bit more mature when I was ready to start university. It's a very fatigued life when you've gone from one education to another, and having that time out just allows you a bit of breathing, and also really focus on what you might want to do. And even in that year or 2 years, you could do some traveling and visit the UK and tick off many universities as tours in a very small period of time, just because of the geography. And then secondly, when it does come to looking at a major that you're interested in, have a good dig deep, or deep dig even, into the classes across the different majors at different universities. They may have the same title, but they may have very different content, and websites will be a great resource for you in finding out that.
All right, we have time for one more question. And I think that the attendees would be certainly interested in this as well as me. What is your favorite event or tradition on your campus in the same order that you presented in?
As a tradition, actually, we have quite a large scholarship scheme internationally, and we're really well known for our real mix of nationalities, and we have a fantastic scholarships reception every year when all the new students join and start, and tell us all about their plans, where they're from and what they're doing with their scholarship studies. So probably that.
So at the University of East London each year, towards the end of the year, so the academic year will end in June, we have a big party for the students. So we have 2 campuses at the University of East London, and we have, I think one time they brought, like, what do you call it? Like a mini theme park, but not as big as a theme park, to the University of East London. So we had like games and stalls and just lots of fun stuff. So it's a really great way to end the year, and you know, welcome in the summer as well.
I feel like I've already got a case of the giggles because I'm about to say this. But so our tradition, or the biggest tradition on campus, has actually been put on hiatus for now, but it is a charitable event. So the proceeds do go to a great charity. But the event is called Pimp My Barrow, which is an event that students get to decorate wheelbarrows from different organizations and kind of parade them across campus. So it's a good event at the end of the day, and I think it's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's always, I think you can even Google it if you do want to see what it's all about.
Like a lot of UK universities, in fact, universities all over the world, we have a international welcome week and then a freshers week for all of our students. And during that time, a lot of the local restaurants, the small independent local restaurants, as well as some of the bigger restaurants, do a lot of samples, and there's lots of stalls are out, so you can kind of try out the food. They're trying to encourage you to go and visit their restaurants throughout the year. For me personally, because I'm a staff member and not a student member, I don't ever get those samples. So my favorite personally tradition is to pretend to be a student so that I can also get the samples.
So as I mentioned in the presentation, it's a very passionate city, is Newcastle, our home, especially for sports. And there's a fierce rivalry between the big 2 universities in the city centre, Northumbria and Newcastle University. And every year we have the Stan Calvert Cup, which is a tournament across a wide range of sports, and it's incredibly competitive, and it spills out into all manner of activities. But Northumbria are the reigning champions and have been for a number of years. So that's a big thing on campus once a year.
Okay, well, awesome. I appreciate it very much. I'm sure the attendees do as well. Before everyone exits, there is a quick survey. It is only 4 quick questions, so just make sure that you answer those for us. This is the last day for this college fair, but there will be a recording available at the website I put in the chat and that you see on the screen. So thank you again for all our panelists and to all of the attendees, and best of luck figuring out what you're going to do with your future. Stay safe. Have a good night.